Hi guys. Okay, this is gonna be, oops, sorry about that. The Vive setup is currently a little bit buggy, but welcome to the first week of VR target shooting. And will still probably change later on, but it has finally been 1 week where I've been able to just work on my project. Since the last video, a lot has changed. As you can see, well, I gone for a nice blue color for the walls, just cause gray seemed a little bit boring at the time, and there's nothing here except for this one little target. So basically, over the past week, I've created a new mode. Well, this past week and a little bit during finals week when I was done studying. I've created this target or arcade shooting mode. Pretty self-explanatory. Shoot to start. Right there. Shoot as many targets as you can. And if you turn your gun over here, you'll be able to see your stats, targets hit, the amount of time you have left. And you can see I hit 4 and there's still 20 more seconds. So it took a good amount of time. During the first run of creating this system, I had just predefined around 10 points in that area and put them in an array to have targets spawn over and over again. Got a better system now. There's now a full square grid of vertices or points generated by Unity or by a script, and it just chooses random points along the entire, like 208 or so ish, all around that area. And once this is done, you see, okay, I hit 4. If you play again, it will reset. And unfortunately, this is one of the bugs I'm running into right now, that it will not actually reset the entire game. Over the past few days, I have been working on trying to reset the scene. Basically, on previous iterations, when you finish the game, the targets would not despawn. And so you'd have like 5 targets in the back, and then you'd have the start button there again. And I had fixed that, except now the targets do not spawn anymore. Because due to the coding, I may have accidentally destroyed the actual reference to the object that's supposed to spawn. So that's a quick fix later on, but I wanted to show you guys the progress so far. Another bug, unfortunately, and I don't know how this happened, is you can't throw guns anymore. You used to be able to actually throw these guns pretty far like that, but I believe somehow I moved some things between fixed update and update. So basically some things are very frame rate based, some things are actually physics based depending on the Unity engine. So something with reorganizing of the code made it so that it's pretty hard to throw guns like that. All right, I need to restart this actually. So welcome back in. That's the progress of the week so far. So we have now a functioning arcade game, which is great. I don't know about this right here. The first plan for this was basically I was going to implement a reloading system so that you would have to reload this gun, like actually reload, drop the magazine, put a new one in, and so on. So you'd look at your gun sort of like this. I still have to adjust the angles because you'd have your gun around here and you'd be able to see your stats right here. Ammo would be in here as well at some point. However, I don't know, it seems pretty tedious to be able to see how much time you have left and what your score is, because you have to look at this every time. So I may move these over to a display over there, and just have this display your ammo, which would be a lot more reasonable. But in the meantime, I have this system set up, which honestly, pretty cool. It's very reminiscent of all the sci-fi shooters or sci-fi movies where they would turn their wrist and a display pops up, which is what I'm going for. Another thing, text do not go through the models anymore. Previously, 3D text would render, kind of like globally, or so you'd actually be able to see shoot target to start through this model, which would definitely cause some nausea. And that is now fixed. A lot of bug fixes in the last week. Um, this target as well used to not reset its animation when it respawned. As you can see, it's perfectly fine now, which is great. One last thing that I am planning on is this little guy. At the top here, this button right here, every time you press it, a menu will pop up. This menu, I have not much idea what I want to do with it yet. Mainly it's going to be for like accessing the teleporting system or changing different scenes. From the last video, the small little shooting range with the boxes is over there. So this menu might help in like changing different scenes, playing different games, so on. Also, I do not plan to have it stay attached to the controller. If anything, I'm going to say like every time you press this button, it'll appear like something like this in front of you, like a normal window would in your computer. And you'd be able to grab, like drag it around and have it follow you if you walked. And basically just kind of be like anchored in a zone in your local area, which if, again, is going for more like an augmented reality, ignore that, an augmented reality kind of feel to this game. So you're in virtual, but you still got kind of the augmented feel where you get to pull up menus in front of you, pull up displays, or do whatever, which is ultimately the goal in this project. Try and providing an augmented, realistic feeling to like an arcade shooter. That sounds really ridiculous now that I say it out loud. Anyways, next week, definitely look forward to this menu actually becoming functional, being able to teleport between scenes or possibly just being able to teleport in general. And also, I will be adding animations, particle effects to shooting this gun so that you don't actually just shoot paintballs like this. Cool. Thank you guys for tuning in. Look forward to next week.